Next up, we're going to receive our fraternal greetings. Internationalism is core to the ethos of this party. Despite all of the hate that we receive from this country, we have seen our party make international relationships at a remarkable pace. And at the forefront of that work has been our International Secretary, Mr. Christopher Helali. So in a brief moment, you'll hear from him.
Distinguished delegates, comrades, ladies and gentlemen, as your International Secretary, it is my duty to be the party's chief diplomat. That is to meet with other governments, other political parties, other organizations outside of the United States. For this conference, for this convention, we received dozens of greetings from international parties, both parties that are members of SolidNet, the international meeting of communists and workers' parties, as well as of the World Anti-Imperialist Platform and others. I'd like to read for you a curated selection so I don't bore you to death with all of these greetings. The first selection of greetings comes to us from Palestine, and of course from our comrades in the resistance. Dear comrades, the Democratic Front for the Liberation of Palestine extends its greetings to you and congratulates you on the convening of your first national conference. We wish success for this conference, which is being held at a significant historical moment in the struggle between global imperialism and national liberation forces. The Democratic Front for the Liberation of Palestine values your supportive stance on the Palestinian cause and the inalienable rights of the Palestinian people, particularly the right to self-determination on their land, the establishment of their independent Palestinian state with Jerusalem as its capital, and the return of refugees to their homes. The Democratic Front for the Liberation of Palestine considers the unification of the struggle to confront global imperialism essential in these difficult times. We hope to continue our relationship with you to confront the Zionist plan, which seeks to displace the Palestinian people and establish a new Middle East dominated by global imperialism through its ally Israel. Our shared struggle and fight against Zionism must defeat imperialism, and the Palestinian resistance will overcome the colonial and racist Israeli projects just as it has thwarted them in the past. Every year we achieve a new victory over Zionism and imperialism. For those who don't know, the DFLP is one of the resistance parties, along with the PFLP, in the coalition of Palestinian resistance parties that have their armed wings fighting right now against the Zionists, along with Hamas and Islamic Jihad and others. So we salute the heroes who are fighting on the front lines against Zionism and imperialism. The next greetings comes from the Palestinian People's Party, a member of SolidNet, one of the two parties of Palestine who are members. And they write, "Dear comrades, on behalf of the leadership and all members of the Palestinian People's Party, we convey to you and to all members of your party our best wishes for every success in your national convention, hoping that it will have a positive contribution for a better future for your people and the humanity for social justice and peace. We would like also on this occasion to thank you for your firm position of solidarity with the just struggle of our people, for ending the occupation, for the rights of return in refugees in accordance with UN resolutions, for the release of prisoners from Israeli jails, and against the genocide going on in Palestine by Israeli occupying army and settlers, backed by world imperialism, headed by the USA and Western countries. Once again, receive our best wishes, the Palestinian People's Party International Department." The next greeting comes from the second Palestinian Communist Party, which is a member of Solinet, and that is the Palestinian Communist Party. They write to us, the Palestinian Communist Party extends our warmest greetings and a revolutionary solidarity to the American Communist Party as you hold your national convention. This gathering is an important milestone in advancing the struggle for socialism and justice in the United States and globally. Your efforts and commitment to the working class inspire us all in these challenging times. We stand united with you in the fight against imperialism, capitalism, and all forms of oppression. Together, we will continue to build a world based on peace, equality, and true democracy for the people. I wish you a successful and productive convention. Red salute, Palestinian Communist Party. Next, I would like to read a greeting from one of the closest fraternal parties of the American Communist Party, and that is the People's Democracy Party of South Korea. For those who don't know, the People's Democracy Party of South Korea is the only communist party in South Korea and has historic links with the Workers' Party of Korea, who they see as the only sole party that can unite the Korean people and achieve socialism, communism on the Korean peninsula. They write, the American Communist Party will be at the forefront of the revolutionary advance of US society. The launch of the American Communist Party is as historic as World War III unfolds today. As long as imperialism exists, invasion, slaughter, domination, and exploitation are inevitable. US imperialism has been directly or indirectly involved in most wars since World War II. Above all, the storm of World War III, caused by the imperialist camp, is blowing from Eastern Europe through West Asia to East Asia and the Pacific. A series of facts show that it is the US imperialist aggressors that are blocking the realization of the independence of the world's peoples. Therefore, the birth of a revolutionary party of the working class that firmly raises the banner of anti-imperialism in the imperialist US, the ringleader of modern imperialism, is of particular significance. The history of the world's peoples is a history of realizing independence. The activities of the people in the US, the head of imperialism, are no exception. Above all, the anti-war peace movement in the US has had an important impact on the independence and liberation of oppressed and exploited working people in colonies around the world. In the 1970s, the anti-Vietnam War struggle accelerated the withdrawal of US invading forces from Vietnam. And today, the pro-Palestinian movement plays an important role in isolating and weakening the Zionists. The US people have stood firmly on the side of justice against aggression at every critical juncture. Throughout history, revolutionary parties of the working class have pioneered history by arming the workers and people with scientific knowledge and revolutionary strategies and tactics, calling them to struggle. The ACP has a historical duty to lead the working class and people of the US to revolution. The Republic of Korea is a colony of US imperialism. Since 1945, the US invasion forces have occupied the southern part of the Korean peninsula, manipulated the pro-US proxy regime, and dominated the ROK people militarily, politically, and economically. Also, they have been perpetuating the division of Korea and escalating the crisis towards war with the invasion exercises against the DPRK. Currently, the US imperialist forces are trying to form and realize the Northeast Asian NATO to manipulate the pro-US belligerent forces of Yoon Suk-yeol in the ROK and launch the war in the ROK, which is the detonator of war in East Asia and the Western Pacific. The fascist puppet of US imperialism, Yoon Suk-yeol, is busy preparing the rear by suppressing the only revolutionary party in the Republic of Korea, the People's Democracy Party, and the anti-imperialist and peace-loving forces. The anti-imperialist struggle in the US and the anti-US struggle in the ROK are intrinsically linked, as the US-ROK relations are the imperialist and colony relation. The international solidarity between the PDP and the ACP can only develop strategically. The World Anti-Imperialist Platform successfully conducted theoretical and practical activities in Washington during the NATO summit in July in the face of vicious interference of the imperialist US. In the process, the ACP has unwaveringly carried out consistent and active practice with a revolutionary perspective. We are convinced that the ACP will open the way for US workers and people by establishing a revolutionary strategy based on scientific analyses of the situation and will make a historical turning point in the US communist movement. Global independence, true peace, and a new society where the workers and people become the masters of politics and economy must come. The ACP, which unites and struggles around the revolutionary idea of the working class, will surely advance the victory of the social revolution and the construction of a new society in the US. Down with US imperialism, long live international solidarity. The next letter I would like to read is from the DPRK International Solidarity Group, which is based in Moscow, which I am now the chair of the North American branch, and ACP is intimately involved with the coordination of efforts in defense of the DPRK. We received this message of greetings from Moscow, from the Soviet Peace Fund, who is at the core and leadership of the DPRK International Solidarity Group. Dear comrades, brothers and sisters in the anti-imperialist struggle, on behalf of the Coordination Committee of the DPRK, ISG, and myself personally, I cordially congratulate all members of the American Communist Party on holding the first national convention. We sincerely admire the thirst for justice of the communists of the USA and Canada, who are waging a struggle in the very heart of US imperialism. And we highly thank the American Communist Party for its special contribution to the demarginalization and development of the international solidarity movement with the DPRK. Unlike under modern conditions, to our deep regret, many communist parties are degrading and taking the path of revisionism under one pretext or another, speaking out against the DPRK, China, Russia, and other countries waging an anti-imperialist struggle. Thus, hiding behind red flags and revolutionary slogans, they actually support the coalition of forces of world imperialism with their actions. But the American Communist Party, despite the colossal pressure of hostile forces, found the courage to confront the enemies of our revolutionary movement and raise the red banner of international solidarity even higher. We are deeply convinced that by joint efforts, we can awaken the American working class despite the machinations of sectarians and revisionists, to raise it to a joint struggle for a bright future, not only for their families, but for all of humanity. The next greetings I would like to read is from a fraternal party that I have a long-standing relationship with, especially with its international secretary, who I've known for many years on a personal and family level, and that is the Unified Communist Party of Georgia. Dear comrades, the Central Committee of the United Communist Party of Georgia welcomes the first national convention of the American Communist Party, to whom we extend our warmest congratulations to all participants, whom we consider comrades in our common struggle. Our two parties signed a historic bilateral agreement this summer in Gori, the birthplace of Comrade Stalin. We look forward to many years of friendship and unity. The communist struggle within a capitalist system is not an easy task. To mobilize the masses to communism, we must build collectives of workers and trade unions. We have to raise up farmers, students, intellectuals, soldiers, and all sorts of oppressed people, from whatever race they come from. We have to fight together, side by side, to advance the struggle and to lead the community to communism. Individually, we are just broken branches, but if we unite collectively, we are an oak tree that will not break. We must completely eradicate this system of destruction and fight for a communist society that puts an end to the exploitation of the working class with its wage slavery and the looming climate crisis. We realize that any movement, including the communist movement, is unthinkable without controversy. However, no differences, no displeasure at the behavior of a particular party can justify methods of struggle detrimental to the interests of the international communist movement. The deeper and broader our understanding of the aims and tasks of the international working class, the greater the vigor with which we should strive to analyze our differences. However serious they may seem today, quietly and relevantly, and prevent them from interfering with our positive work, from disorganizing the revolutionary activities of the international working class. Let us struggle and fight together for consistent adherence to the Marxist-Leninist course in the international communist movement, against revisionism and dogmatism, for closer unity in the ranks of the international communist movement, for respect for collectively worked out policies, and against any violations or arbitrary interpretations of these. The next greetings comes to us from the Russian Communist Workers' Party, a member of Solidnet, one of the few communist parties in Russia that are members. And they write to us, "Dear comrades in the struggle, on behalf of the Russian Communist Workers' Party, we welcome the delegates to the Congress and wish them fruitful work in finding ways to strengthen the party as an organizer of the struggle of the working class and the broad forces of all working peoples. Dear comrades, we understand that you work in special conditions, in the very center of the imperialist world, in a country that is the support of the world capitalist system, the main source of reaction and suppression for freedom of both our countries and workers in your own country. Today, the main issue of our movement is the attitude towards the war in Ukraine and the Middle East. We draw particular attention to the fact that the same group of the most predatory imperialist countries supports both the genocidal policies of the Zionists and the Ukrainian Nazis in their war with Russia. Our vision of the situation was expressed in the signing of the Izmir Statement of the Communist and Workers' Parties of the World Solidnet, the struggle against the aggression of the USA and NATO, which seek world hegemony and foster fascism, is the task of all the progressive forces. Today, the main danger to the world comes from the bloc of US and NATO imperialism, which gives rise to fascism and is pushing the world towards a third world war. We believe and hope that we will fight against fascism and imperialism together with you. We are making every effort to unite the communist pole in the international communist movement, defend the socialism we know, and promote the need to develop a revolutionary strategy for each communist party. We in the Soviet Union suffered a temporary defeat, but we lived under socialism and we know what it is. Under socialism, many things are resolved better and in favor of the working people. Issues of ensuring guaranteed work, free education and healthcare, caring for children and the elderly, providing housing. But most importantly, we say that relations between people were better. They were much more honest, more pure, and more just. They were more human. We did not bow to the masters and called each other comrades. We know that such human relations are worth fighting for. We are in a single class formation on the front of the battle against imperialism. Good luck to us in this noble struggle. Let us not waver on our chosen path. Workers of all countries, unite. Next, we had a wonderful short letter from the Socialist Party of Latvia, which is the communist party in Latvia that is a member of Solidnet. And we had a very good exchange and talked about closer cooperation, especially in the Baltic states that are experiencing tremendous Russophobia and, of course, extreme historical revisionism, while they have destroyed all of their monuments to the Great Patriotic War and to any legacy of the Russian presence in those lands. Dear comrades, we greet the American Communist Party with great satisfaction on the occasion of your first National Convention. We sincerely wish you to earn the unconditional respect and support of the working people in the United States. We also see you as reliable comrades in the international anti-imperialist struggle, which is currently of particular relevance for communists worldwide. We are confident in your ability to achieve significant influence in the internal politics of the United States and to become a notable participant in the international communist and anti-imperialist movement. May the glorious experience of your predecessors, communists, and the practices of contemporary political struggle assist you in achieving your goals. Power to labor, not to capital. Next, we received greetings from the Communist Party of the Democratic Republic of Congo, the historical inheritor of the legacy of Patrice Lumumba. And they wrote to us saying, "Comrade, the Congolese Communist Party will first of all send you the warmest congratulations on the occasion of your first Congress of the unification of American communists and wishes you great success. We are convinced that the resolutions that you will adopt during this Congress will contribute to further consolidating your work of building your American society. We appreciate the unification of communists in the USA for the founding of a single party in your country. This is a first victory because unity is strength. Our Congolese Communist Party attaches great importance to the relations between our two political parties and is ready to work with the new leadership of the American Communist Party to advance our relations of mutual trust. The extreme right in power violates the rights of several peoples around the world, and its governance today places the world in total insecurity. The escalation between NATO and Russia will plunge the world into a third world war with irreparable consequences. Hence, there is a real urgency to mobilize communists around the world to stop the gestation of the Third World War. Indeed, it is inadmissible and unacceptable that the USA condemns the war in Ukraine but supports the policy of colonization and apartheid in Palestine by Israel and tightens, in violation of human rights, the blockade against Cuba. We hope that you will condemn this double standard policy of your current government in power in the USA. Our fight for justice, freedom, and peace is in no way subject of any negotiation, working together for world peace and against international imperialism. Full support for American Communist Party. Long live the ACP Congress. Fatherland or death, we will win. The next letter comes to us from the Communist Party of Zimbabwe, which I have had a long relationship with. And they are very close and fraternal with the South African Communist Party. They write to us, "Comrades, the Central Committee of the Zimbabwe Communist Party greets the formation of the American Communist Party with hopes for the future of mankind. That the USA has become the center of world imperialist and monopoly capitalist terror has impacted on every corner of our small planet. And in this respect, it is impacting daily on the lives of ordinary US citizens. There are no longer any trickle-down benefits for the majority. Extreme corruption, homelessness, lack of health care, lack of dignified employment, drug abuse, poor food quality are all having a disastrous effect on the majority of Americans. It is our contention that there has been state capture in the USA, that the US state machine no longer works for the interests of US capitalism as a whole, but only for the bankers, the military-industrial complex, and the Zionists. Fundamentally, the difference between Democrats and Republicans is that they serve the interests of different strata of the US capitalist class. The good news is that the majority of young Americans in opinion polls are stating that they are in favor of some form of socialism or communism. This trend started to be apparent when Bernie Sanders competed for the presidency, and it is common cause that if he had been allowed to stand, he would have become president of the United States. Now, as communists, we do not see Bernie Sanders as a real socialist leader, but the fact that the word socialist is now there with the mainstream consciousness of the American people, especially the youth, is a major step forward. Comrades, we see one of the most important tasks of the ACP that it has to tackle is to transform this vague and foggy consciousness around socialism into a firm and clear vision based on the realities of economic and social conditions of your country. A vision acceptable to all but the most greedy and reactionary classes and strata of US society. Africans have, in recent years, witnessed the destruction of 2 African countries through the orders of so-called liberal US presidents. Firstly, the destruction of the Democratic Republic of Congo between 1998 and 2003 in the biggest war ever on the African continent was hardly even recorded by Western media. According to the United Nations, it led to the deaths of 5.4 million people. In the course of that war, President Kabila was murdered. His crime had been to renegotiate all mining contracts in the DRC in order to obtain funds to develop our country. He was advised by the renowned Belgian communist Ludo Martens. Bill Clinton armed Rwanda and Uganda to invade the DRC in a proxy war. Our country, Zimbabwe, then chairing the South African Development Community, sent in troops to counter the invasion. The IMF and World Bank immediately suspended support for Zimbabwe while continuing to support Rwanda and Uganda. Sanctions against Zimbabwe started then, not when the war veterans occupied their own agricultural land, as is normally claimed. Secondly, the first quote-unquote African-American president of the USA, Barack Obama, sanctioned the NATO bombing of Libya, then under the leadership of brother leader Muammar Gaddafi. Libya had the highest human development index in Africa at the time. Libya was destroyed and Gaddafi was cruelly murdered to the delight of Hillary Clinton. Western-backed Salafist terrorists then began a campaign of genocide against black Libyans and reintroduced the slave trade. Many of the Salafists then moved south to the Sahel, which gave the French and the US Africa Command, AFRICOM, an excuse to deploy troops. They had no intention of fighting the terrorists who were, in reality, their allies. It is only now that the revolutionary governments of the Sahel Alliance, with the assistance of Russia, have genuinely started to defeat the jihadists. Currently, the Zimbabwe Communist Party is clear that the Ukraine war is a US war against Russia, not even a NATO war, for NATO is nothing but a collection of US semi-colonies. Similarly, we believe that the replacement of the state of Israel by a secular state of Palestine is the only way that there can be a lasting solution. The two-state solution was tried in the 1990s and resulted in the murder of 2 main signatories, Yitzhak Rabin and Yasser Arafat. The Zimbabwe Communist Party believes that the American Communist Party fully understands the relationship between US imperialism and the deteriorating living conditions of the US people and has the potential to be the leading force in US society. Forward to socialism, forward. I want to move now. We have a lot of greetings. I'll move to a few important ones, just for time's sake, and I'm sure all of you would like a rest and a little bit of a break here. We have a greeting from Vatan Partisi, who is an important anti-imperialist party within Turkey that we had a meeting with. And they write, "Esteemed comrades, from Turkey, we celebrate the first national convention of the American Communist Party on Saturday, October 12th, with revolutionary feelings and share your enthusiasm. A new world is being established. We are in conditions where the Atlantic-centered imperialist capitalist system is coming to an end and a multipolar world is rising. The US system of extortion at gunpoint is at a dead end. The dollar reign is collapsing. The aggression of US imperialism and Israeli Zionism is losing in Palestine, Ukraine, Korea, and all over the world. In Asia, Latin America, and Africa, national states are winning victories over hegemonism. Millions of people in Europe and America are supporting the people struggling against US imperialism, especially the Palestinians. Humanity is a single front against US imperialism. We, as Vatan Partisi Turkey, are confident in the revolutionary history and roots of the United States of America. The democratic revolutions and wars of independence in America's history continue to inspire both the American people and humanity today. That history is rising again with you. We sincerely believe that your Congress will make significant contributions to the construction of a humane, populist, sharing, enlightenment, democratic, peaceful, and modern civilization on the axes of the independence of national states. With our belief that we will increase the cooperation between the Vatan Partisi and the American Communist Party in every field in the coming period and share more important responsibilities and victories, we wish them great success. With hope, trust, and respect. We received greetings from the Kurdistan Communist Party Iraq, which is a member of SolidNet, and they write from Erbil, we in Kurdistan Communist Party Iraq send our warmest congratulations on the occasion of your National Congress on Saturday. We hope that the decisions and recommendations of your Congress will be positive motivation for your continued struggle for social justice and peace. We received the greetings from the Communist Party Switzerland, this one the Partito Comunista, which is a member of both the platform and SolidNet. And they write, "Dear comrades, on behalf of the Communist Party Switzerland, we wish you good work and a successful convention. In the actual geopolitical context of the increasing provocations and ongoing wars wanted by NATO, as much as the genocide fury of Zionism, it is very important to maintain unity over division in favor of peace and to focus on the fight against Western imperialism. Revolutionary greetings, Communist Party Switzerland." Now we have the poll. For those who know, there are multiple communist parties in France. This is the poll of Communist Renaissance in France, which is the most revolutionary and the one that is in the platform. And so they write to us, on this historic occasion of the American Communist Party's first national convention in Chicago, October 12th, 2024, the poll of Communist Renaissance in France extends its warmest congratulations and solidarity. The founding of a new Communist Party in the United States marks a critical moment for the working class and oppressed peoples in their struggle against capitalism and imperialism. In a time of growing inequality and global instability, the necessity of Marxism-Leninism as a guiding analytical option and method has never been clearer. Only through the scientific approach of class struggle can we truly dismantle the capitalist system and build a society based on justice, equality, and solidarity. The principles of democratic centralism provide the organizational strength and unity needed to effectively lead this fight, combining disciplined leadership with collective decision-making. Moreover, the American Communist Party embodies the complementary principles of proletarian internationalism and revolutionary patriotism. While we struggle for socialism within our own borders, we stand in unwavering solidarity with workers across the globe, united by our shared interests and commitment to a common cause. May this convention mark the beginning of a new chapter in the revolutionary movement in the United States, one that brings us closer to the ultimate goal of a socialist future. Long live the American Communist Party, long live proletarian internationalism. To conclude, we have greetings from, we have so many more, but time is of the essence. We have a greeting from Unión Proletaria in Spain, which is a member of the platform. And they greeted us saying, "Dear comrades, on behalf of the communist organization Unión Proletaria from Spain, we extend our warmest greetings and congratulations on the celebration of your first national convention. The organization of communists into Marxist-Leninist parties is essential for the working class and oppressed strata. It requires a clear and firm strategy, along with a flexible political tactic to organize and educate the masses toward the socialist revolution. Therefore, we welcome the formation of the American Communist Party. Your initiative addresses the urgent need to organize, consolidate, and strengthen communist forces in all countries. Constituting the party of the proletariat is the most crucial task to confront the anti-imperialist struggle with maximum coherence, both nationally and internationally. In this context, the World Anti-Imperialist Platform aims to consolidate communist forces, and you, the American communists, are taking a vital step in the heart of international imperialism. In recent years, the rebellion of nations and the resistance of peoples against imperialism have shaken its power. The response of imperialist countries has been to promote fascism, to subjugate the proletariat, and lead the world toward war. Although proletarian mobilizations may have diminished, opportunities for progress are emerging as our class enemy weakens. Under these conditions, it is essential to strengthen the global anti-imperialist struggle, coordinate actions, and support the resistance in Palestine, Lebanon, Syria, Yemen, Russia, the Sahel, Venezuela, DPRK, Cuba, and more against the criminals of the US, NATO, the EU, and their fascist lackeys. To achieve this, it is vital to combat opportunism, revisionism, and ultra-leftism, and to coordinate the most conscious proletarian forces within the World Anti-Imperialist Platform. We, the communists of Unión Proletaria, are confident that you will rise to the great responsibility of establishing a communist organization in the primary center of criminal imperialism. We believe you will succeed under the banner of Marxism-Leninism. Proletarians and oppressed peoples of the world unite. Long live the World Anti-Imperialist Platform. Long live the first National Convention of the American Communist Party.